up and
Welcome, everybody. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. So I'm very excited to have another session with Dr. Iyer on Mokshadham platform. And welcome, everybody. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. So I'm very excited. My own voice was echoing on YouTube because we are broadcasting live on YouTube. You can also forward that YouTube link to anybody who's not able to join this present session. So Mokshadham is all about spreading the knowledge of yoga, Indic and Vedic studies, and make it accessible and affordable to all. So in this series, we are getting Taraji, who's teaching us Mudra course, and her teacher, Dr. DVS Iyer. So I'll just invite Taraji to introduce Dr. Iyer.
Namaste, and happy to connect with all of you, and so happy to have Dr. Iyer here. We are really fortunate to have him. I've been fascinated by his book, The Art and Science of Mudras, since the last 1.5 years. And I'm practicing it on myself, and I'm finding great benefits. And he's always available if there's any question, if any clarification is needed. He's always available to guide us, answer my questions and all that. And by profession, Dr. Iyer is a civil engineer and a town planner. And since the last almost 2 decades, he is seamlessly transition to practicing Hasta Mudras. Now, I will not take up more of your time. I'll hand over the platform to Dr. Iyer, and any questions you want to ask, you please go ahead and ask him. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste to everybody. I'm very happy to be with you today again, second time. And I hope you have had some ideas about mudras and then practicing also, and then found some difficulties or some questions to ask. We shall go to that at the second part of the lecture. Today, I am a little affected by the
throat problem.
Difficulties in here, and then I may not be able to talk completely for 1 hour, but I shall try to do whatever is possible, and then do whatever is possible, whatever is required to be answered or explained to her. Now, before doing anything, I'd like to give a brief account of myself, because I'm a person who has been benefited to a maximum extent by means of mudras, because mudras have come not by studies or by deliberate understanding of what it is, but by sheer accident. And by that accident, entirely changed my life, as if it was a new life to me, actually. Now, that is after I was 80 years old. Now, from up to about 80 years, I was behaving like a normal being. That is, suffering from headaches or stomach aches, skin troubles, and then like this, and then taking pills, taking allopathic advice only, without knowing anything else, because though there was a treasure of knowledge from our earlier times, we had forgotten all about it. And I was one such person who had forgotten all that. And then at 80, one day it transformed my whole life, actually, as it were, because now I am 98 years, and then I'm depending mostly for my health on mudras. Now, how did it come about? My brother stays in Mysore also. I was staying in Mysore then. And when I was 80, I shifted to Mysore at when I was 63 years old, in 1963. And I stayed there for about 30 years. And then, we had been going on with the normal life or ordinary life up to about 80 years, 62 to 80 years. But one day, my brother's son brought in some sketches of fingers, showing fingers. And then he said, Uncle, these sketches say that when you hold your hand in particular positions, it cures certain ailments. I have not understood that. Can you explain to me? Now, I saw that and found out that I couldn't find out anything, because I simply because I did not understand what it was. I had not heard about it. I had not seen such a thing, and I was completely unaware of what it is. Now I told him, this is really too amazing for me. I can't understand this one, and because I don't know how it can cure a disease can be cured by a mere holding of the fingers. I did not believe in that one. So I said, anyway, I'll look into it leisurely and then tell you what it is. Then he said, please tell me, Uncle, afterwards I'll come later on. Now I just kept this sketches aside and then forgot about it completely. Now I was a person who was suffering from very frequent headaches, then this stomach aches especially, and then also some problems in the knee and in the joints for walking and all that. Because at 80, you have to expect such things to come up, and also the difficulties in the panchendriyas, the seeing difficulties, hearing difficulties, feeling difficulties, and then talking difficulties and all that, it will be there. Now, I was not affected, fortunately, by any of this, because I had a very regular, disciplined lifestyle. Now, I would get up early in the morning at a particular time. Then do some yogasanas, and then go for a walk, and then come back, take my bath and all that, and take my breakfast normally between 7:30 and 8. This practice I have been maintaining since about several decades. And then after breakfast, lunch will be taken at between 12 and 1. And then in the evening, between 6 and 7, or before 7, 5 and 7, I would take some snacks. And that's all dinner. No dinner. And then I would go to sleep, and definitely before 8, before 9 o'clock. Preferably, normally I would go to at 8:30 or 9 before that one. Now, this schedule I have been maintaining for several decades. And that's how I could maintain my health, partly at least, up to about 8 years, though not very satisfactorily. Because these headaches, as I told you, are very common. And stomach aches also were very common. And these things I could not control easily. But allopathic pills, of course, came in the way, and then I would get temporary satisfaction, and then would get out that way. Now, after that, receiving these sketches from my brother's son, one day I had a very severe headache, very severe. I am repeating that probably to many of you, because it is worth hearing it. And when I got that very severe headache, my natural tendency is to take Saridan or some such pills, and Advil or some such thing that was available to me, and then see that it is got over. Now, this time also, I was about to do the same thing. I remember suddenly that some sketches were there given to me by my brother's son, Raghuram. And then I just thought, why not try this particular thing? No, I did assume the particular position required for the cure of headache. I got out one sketch from out of these sheets, and then there was a mudra, a particular position of the fingers, and then I assumed it for particular position. When I assumed that particular position and then kept it for a few hours that day, probably 1 or 2 hours that day, the headache completely gone without taking any pill. I had not taken a pill till then for that purpose, for that day's headache. So the headache that has gone that day has not returned even after 17 years. Does anybody believe that one? I myself would not have believed that. If I had not experienced that, and is still experiencing that, I am not having any headache whatsoever in any day after that day. That is about 17 years ago. The headache has went away, completely gone, and has not returned till today. Even now, I don't get headaches for any method, whatever be the situation or occasion, but that which was very common earlier. But now, whatever be the situation, I don't get headache. Now, that was an amazing experience for me. I couldn't believe that myself. And then when I realized that it is I who is experiencing that one, I had to have faith in that one. So I did have a definite attitude towards that, but towards this. And then I asked myself, why not I use this particular method for other ailments also? And that is for uh, my stomach difficulties. Indigestion was a very, very common. I was hardly taking good food because of the fear of indigestion, constipation, these, and also sometimes gas. These were very common. And I tried for that also. I tried and got amazingly again a very good cure for that. Whenever I was having indigestion, I would assume that particular mudra, and then I would get over that. Now, for other problems also, I wanted to try. For example, skin problems especially. Skin problems are a major thing for me, and sometimes they would affect me for quite a good deal. And when I was 8 years, at that particular period of time itself, I was having some spots on all over the body, even the face, lips, and here and all that, and also throughout the hand, all over the hands, and it was looking very ugly. No, I was fearful about it one, and I wanted to consult the medical people for that one. I went to Manipal, where I was serving for almost 30 years, and then I was also their chief engineer for the hospital. And then I knew most of the head departments. And then I consulted the dermatology department head, who was very friendly with me. And he said, Mr. Iyer, this is quite a serious one. And I will give you some prescription for taking pills, and it may involve even steroids also. So I'll give you some prescription, and after about 15 or 20 days, we shall assess the matter again. No, I had gone to Manipal and then came out of it without taking any pills, of course, as the prescription. I had just I studied about these mudras. And then I said, whether there is any alternative to this one Indian mudras. There was one, very simple one. And then when I assumed that particular mudra, within a few days, I tell you, those spots which were coming up on the skin completely vanished as it were. They were thrown out as it were. So I could not believe myself that it can be such a serious cure that we can have by a mere positioning of the fingers. My headache was gone. My indigestion and stomach troubles are under control. Whenever they were out of order, they could be brought under control. And then the skin problem, especially. The skin problem is a major, amazing factor for me, because that was simply wonderful. And it has not recurred again. On all these points, I tell you, all these, those spots were coming there. And those spots were completely gone, vanished. And then I thought, Baba, what is this? If I can get relief and cure for these methods, then why not why should it die with me? I should share this knowledge with my friends and others also, as far as possible, and then see that they also get advantage. So I started telling my friends, and then they encouraged me to talk to groups of people, and then I started addressing lectures for institutions, financial institutions, educational institutions, and women's groups, and all that. And then now I have got nearly 160 or even more lectures, and including now these webinars and all that. And all these things made me feel a little satisfied, because I could share my knowledge, which was a very, very definite thing. It is not a fake thing. It was not a theoretical knowledge. It was a thing which I acquired by means of feeling the cure for a particular ailment. Now that made me enormously satisfied in telling others also about this particular thing, and also could write a book on this particular aspect, particular science, because I had collected some information when I got cured of those things, I started referring to say books which are available in Mysore, and then I delved deep into it, and then went on understanding what the difficulties and the underlying non, theoretical knowledge about it. So I wrote a brief because I had to write a book because whenever I gave a lecture, after the lecture, a hearer would come and tell me, "Sir, we understood what you have said, and then know that it is a very, very simple, effective method. But the moment we cross the threshold of the hall, we forget which hand or which finger you told us to hold. So that is the difficulty, and hence, please give us some brochure or some such thing like that, or get references like that, so that we can remember which which finger is to be held in what position for a particular purpose. Now that appealed to me also, and then I wrote a simple brochure of about 80 to 90 pages, and then it was sold out very quickly within a month. And I then thought, why not go into deeper details? So I started collecting information about that, and then had kept it with me for publishing. No, I did not know anything about publishing matters. And then one of the hearers was an old man, again, 72 years old. And then he heard me when I was 92. I understand. When I understand, then he thought, what is this man, old man, 92 years old, standing like this for more than 1.5 hours and then giving a lecture on this one without getting tired or anything. So he was so curious about me that he contacted me later on. So he became a very good friend of mine. And the irony of it is, he was the managing director of a pharmaceutical company and of commission druggist shop. So even though he was dealing with allopathic medicines and then allopathic fields, he was very intent on knowing these simple methods like this, the old methods like this, which was available freely for us without any difficulty. Now he was really understood to hear how mudras can be so simple, so easily understood, and then that's also and then also painless, costless, and then can be done at any time whatsoever. And that is a great advantage of this mudras. In fact, there are many old systems that are available, that were available, that were in use, that were in regular use by people, and then got cured for many of their ailments. And nearly 85% of the people were healthy before 300 years in this country, before the Britishers came, before the allopathic medicine was introduced into this field. So after the Britishers came, they were ruthless about demolishing all our cultural aspects and our methods that we were using and all that. And especially Macaulay. Macaulay was very, very sure, definite about it. So most of us thought that the glittering science that is there from the West is the ultimate thing that is better and that is good. And we started changing over from our simple systems to the present day complicated system. I say complicated because the diagnostic way that is being done today is highly costly. They are very efficient, no doubt. The allopathic approach is very efficient, no doubt. But it is beyond the reach of common man, beyond the reach of general people. And that is why, and for ordinary purposes, for example, an ordinary stomach ache or muscular ache or something, why should we run to a doctor? We normally run to a doctor and then seek his permission, and that involves time, labor, money, and tension, and all that. So there were methods. Why not we try them? For example, acupressure, acupuncture, acupuncture, and then the pranic healing, Reiki, and then sonic therapy, and magnetic therapy, and mudras. These were the simple methods which were not requiring any considerable gadgets or any such thing, and then can be available free of cost for nothing at all. And most of that, the person who is ill, he himself can carry on with that one. So when such methods were there, especially mudras, if you take mudras, consider mudras just by a mere positioning of the fingers in a particular way for a particular ailment, we can completely get cured. Is it not wonderful? Yeah, these fingers are easily available and can be bent in any position you like. And then we can certainly control most of our ordinary diseases. Of course, modern medicine is required for various purposes. And ultimately, we have to depend upon that one. Either the modern medicine or Ayurveda or Siddha or whatever our earlier systems are there. So earlier systems were there, and they are not as costly as it is for today. For example, just imagine your COVID time. An ordinary person, can he invest in 2-3 lakhs like this at a time? And that was the minimum that was required. I forget over that one because he had to be admitted in a particular way and protected in a particular way and all that. So that was the situation. And now it was not. That is today. Nearly 85% of our people refer to some tablets or other, some medicinal approach or other. Formerly, it was reverse. 85% were safe and did not require any serious attendment at all. Attention at all. And then it was very easy. Only 10 to 12% required surgery or some such serious attention. Now it is completely reversed. The more advanced that medicine is making, it appears as though the advantage that we get out of it is inversely proportional. Just imagine, but there are wonderful diagnostic methods are there now today in modern medicine. Wonderful. MRI scans and then the various other types of finding out the particular difficulties. And those instruments that are there are running into crores of rupees. Now they have to get back that amount. So, and they have to charge. So the diagnostic part of the modern medicine is really beyond the reach of a common. Very difficult. Unless he is prepared to spend money quite freely also. Now that is the difficulty of that. And then in this context, why should we not go back to our old systems and study them and then adopt them if it is possible to do? That is what it is. That is what mudras come into the picture. Mudras are a very, very simple device. Just what all it requires is your free hand, free. These fingers, if they are free to bend into various positions, various postures like this, that's all what is required. No other requirement is necessary. Not to sit in, that is, there is no necessity to sit in a position and to be like in a particular part of the day or some such thing like this. It is not required at all. You can do it any time you like, and then in whatever positions you are in, whether you are lying down, sitting, or seeing TV, going for a walk, and then conversing with others and all that. No, that is its simplicity. That is its simplicity. No other system is so simple as this particular one. It does not require anybody to guide you. An initial guidance required. Afterwards, nothing is required. You are your own doctor. You can analyze the 100% correctly your own disease, and then hence you can find out what is good for you in that particular position. Now that is the state of mudras, and so simple, and not only simple but applicable to any stage of life, whether you are in the childhood or boyhood, or you are a late person, that is aged person, like that. It does not discriminate between age or gender or anything like that. So anybody can use it, provided you know how to bring the fingers into particular positions, what fingers, and that particular information, if you know, that's all what it is. That is what I did. And I got the maximum advantage of these mudras. Even today, if I am healthy today at 98 years and he is talking to you so freely, it is because of the mudras. The moment any difficulty comes to me, I hold a particular mudra, and then that simple, it will decide what it is, and then cures it. Of course, if you are affected by serious diseases like lung diseases or heart diseases or some such serious diseases or surgery required, in such cases, we have to take advantage of the modern medicine, allopathic approach, allopathic advantage. We have to, but for all our other ordinary things, especially in the present day life, it is very difficult to lead a very peaceful and calm life. Now, if we have to be healthy, we have to resort to some method or other to alleviate those difficulties, sufferings from ailments. And that we can do easily because we can analyze what are the sources of difficulties that can be faced, and then what could be done in those circumstances. What mudras can be done in some circumstances. So that is how daily, if you are doing certain number of mudras, you can easily protect yourself from ordinary diseases. Especially it is required in an urban area, because in cities, the crowdedness, the pollution that is there, and then the garbage that is there, and then air, water pollution that is there, all these create lot of problems beyond our imagination. And we cannot control those things. And hence we have to find out that we have to protect ourselves from any difficulties from those sources. So that we can easily do because we can find out what the source is and then get the required mudra for that. That is why I have in my book given 6 mudras for doing that for maintenance. Now this is the book that is there.
Doctor, you keep it closer to your chest, then it'll show up. Keep it closer to your chest. So, yeah, in the center, in the center. Okay, that's okay. I'll send the image for it. Yeah, one
It's not
second.
coming.
One second. This is the book. Tara is showing the book. Look at this.
Yeah.
Art and Science of Mudras. Yeah.
Art and Science of Mudra. Now, this book is specially written for people who want to practice without much of a theoretical knowledge to be read through. And because we can directly go to a particular mudra whenever we are suffering from a particular disease. And to that extent, reference should be easily available for people who want to practice. So for that purpose, I have written a book which is very, very easy to refer to, and then also can get full guidance out of for a particular thing. For example, for any mudra, for example, we have got a full on one side we have got the photograph of that, and the other side a brief description of the same thing, and then brief description how to do it, how much time to do it, and then the technique of doing it. What are its benefits, advantages, and benefits? So that full information can be got from one sheet, one page like this, one side like this, other two. So for the there are 40 such mudras that are there, which covers most of our diseases. In fact, I have enumerated about 155 ailments that we commonly see across us, and then we can find out which mudra, for example, like this is a thing that is available, and then on one side you have got the ailments that you are suffering from, you can refer to, and then in the other thing you got mudra is to be done for the purpose, and then what wages it is to be applied. So it is so easy to refer to also, and then you can do the mudra as required, and then get out your normal difficulties. And most of us in urban areas, we are affected by mental problems, especially stress. That is there. That is very common. Depression, anger, and then and addiction to various things. All these things are, when that is there, it is very difficult to control our proper health. So for that, there are very simple mudras. 6 simple mudras are there. I have explained that one. You can refer to that later on when you have time. Or any book. It does not matter. My book only, I'm not very particular about that. But I have seen to it that in one area, one position, all these things are required are available for reference for a particular cure. So that is why I mentioned about my book. So for most of the people, the 6 mudras will take care of their health properly. That is very easy to do. And Gnana mudra, Prithya mudra, and then Apano mudra, Shunyavaya mudra, Prana mudra. These 5-6 mudras, this Dhyana mudra. These 6 mudras will give you a very efficient protection against the difficulties that are there in the urban areas, in the cities. That is one thing. And then for a particular cure required for a particular disease, there are different positions of fingers that are required to be obtained, and that I have explained in the later stages. So about 40 mudras I have explained, and that covers, in fact, most of our requirements in day-to-day life today, in the modern life today. And it is very easy to take. And I have practiced also, not only at home, but also beyond also. For example, I have taken batches, my friends, to a tour of Karnataka from north to south and east to west. And believe it or not, in 4 days, we have covered almost all the tourist spots of the country, of that state, Karnataka state. Very, very easy. We went in a car in the morning, we would go in the car, go to the sites, and then get explanation, understand that. And then come in the evening, take night rest. Again, start in the morning, go outdoors, and do the same thing next day. 3 days, after 4 days, in 4 days, believe it or not, we have covered the surroundings of Mysore city, that is up to about the Kaveri Falls, and then Shravanabelighola, and then other areas also. Next day, Halebed, Velur, Halebed, and the third day, Badami, and then the Bijapur, Gol Gumbas. And then the fourth day, in the south, that is, we have covered the Hampi, the Vijayanagara times, those areas. So in 4 days, we have covered all these hundreds of miles, hundreds of kilometers, without getting exhausted. Especially I was 85 years then. I would do the required mudra for whatever position that I was in, and then I would get relief. I would not forget, I would not worry about my health. And I was the first person to get up in the morning and then lead the team and take them out and then do it also. And getting up the hill, for example, Badami, we have to get up the hills and then see the cave temples. Gold Gumbas, we have to get up the steps, 120 steps or so. And then our roundabout, go roundabout to see the various remnants that are there in the area. So those things we did continuously for 4 days without getting affected. And the fourth day evening, we came back, returned to Mysore, unaffected in our health. We were not even tired. We were quite normal. Now that was exactly completely due to mudras. I entirely, in fact, devote the success to the mudras. And even male coated temple. Another day, I had taken some people in the male coated temple, which is quite an occasion. And then I was the first man to go up to the hill and up to the temple, and then wait for the others to come without getting fatigued or tired at that age, 85 years. Now, these have helped me a lot in a complete confidence in the mudras for their cure for ordinary diseases. There is nothing required beyond the holding of particular positions in particular ways, but for a particular requirement. And that is what I'm doing today also. Now, I was subjected to surgery about 3 months ago, and I was to recover also, and that would have taken a lot of time. And mudras in such cases come in the way to reduce the recuperation time, and then it will help also in reducing the problems also that has come up. So that way, mudras are an extremely simple method, painless, and then costless, and then time at our control, and then in whatever position we are in, we can hold it. Of course, the most advantageous system we can have is in early mornings. Early mornings we can have, and in early mornings, because it is there that the body is undergoing changes from a supine position to a working dormant position, and many endocrine glands are secreting in our body, which will help us. And during that time, if we do mudras also, we will have a double benefit. That says it's always preferable to do yoga asanas or mudras in the early morning or late in the night, late in the evening. So these positions you can choose. Even though the science does not ask you to have a particular time, but you should get used to a particular rhythm, particular time, and at that time only you have to do these mudras. Now I think I have taken quite a good amount of time, 40 minutes almost, and then I open this to questions and answers, which is more important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iyer. So we'll invite question answer. So write your questions into the chat box and I'll take question one by one. So I'll start with first question, Dr. Iyer. What mudra did you use while you were going uphill to the temple?
Yeah, that's a very important thing. In fact, especially urbanites do require to know this particular thing. Apana Vaya Mudra. That is, Vaya Mudra is this one, Apana Mudra is this. And then the little fingers kept straight out of it. Apana Vaya Mudra. This is one mudra which is a very, very useful mudra, especially in today's life. And yes, because it controls your heart problems, any pain in the heart. And also, you can easily, without any difficulty, get up the hill without getting that breathlessness or something like that. And then also tiredness. So these things will not be there if you do this mudra before starting that going uphill, especially for people who are going for going out, especially in the hills and other areas, this particular mudra is very helpful. Even for people, ordinary people in urban areas, they have to get up the steps sometime or other, especially if they live in flats. So when you, before getting up these steps, you just do this mudra, complete it, and then be there at that and get up the steps. And then at the end of it, we should have exhausted, not generally, especially aged people. It would be very aged people. It would be certainly it's wonderful to see that you don't get tired or you don't get breathless. That's the advantages.
Okay.
Apana Vayu Mudra.
Apan Vayu Mudra for climbing up the hill and for heart condition. Okay, the next question is there any specific mudra for low back pain relief?
Yeah, low back pain, that is normally back pain, is done by means of Meru Danda Mudra. Now, in Meru Danda Mudra, what you do is you just bend all the four fingers like this, and then keep the thumb out like this. Then lower back pain, if you have got, then hold the thumbs like this. That is, bend all the four fingers to palm, and then keep the thumb straight, free, and then facing each other like this. And this is for Merudanda Mudra, lower back pain. If it is middle back pain, then put it like this. Then if it is upper back pain, do this way. That is Merudanda Mudra. Merudanda Mudra for back pain.
Next question is, how long does it generally take to see the result of Udan Mudra for improving the thyroid function?
Now, it is very difficult to see. It depends upon to what state the ailment is. If it is in a serious state, it may take several weeks or even months together. But if it is in earlier stages, it can be done in 21 days. Generally, 21 days is required for a firm result to be known for a particular.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Next question is, I have a lot of inflammation in my joints and I have so much pain. Which mudra should be practiced and for how long? I think it's a generalized inflammation in the joint for somebody. So which mudra for general joint inflammation and for how long should be practiced?
For pain especially, there is nothing like Shunya Vayu Mudra. That is Vayu Mudra and Shunya Mudra. Together you do it. That is called as Shunya Vayu Mudra. And this mudra is very, very efficient for our pains. You may not feel it in the beginning. Please remember another thing. Mudras is a little slow compared to any other system. That's because these mudras, what they do is they go to the root of the problem, then search out the toxins that have developed there, and then completely wash out and remove them, and then establish a peaceful state. That is what a mudra does. This takes a lot of time. So you must have perseverance and then believe in that one, that it takes a little more time than what is required. So the time limit is depending upon the extent of the disease, extent of the ailment. Shunya Vayu Mudra is able to do away most of our problems of pain all over the body.
Okay, thank you.
Shunya
So
Vayu.
next question is, there are two questions. For long-sightedness for eyes, for eye problem, long-sightedness, any mudra?
Yes, Prana Mudra is the one that is there. Prana Mudra.
Prana. Okay. All right. Next question is, any mudra for detoxing the body?
Yeah, there is a very good mudra. What is called as Aditi Mudra.
Thank you so much, sir. Aditi Mudra for detoxing.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is, can we chant mantras while holding any mudra?
Very good question. Normally, though the science does not require that one, our attitude and our position is very important for getting the maximum benefit out of it. So in the Brahmi Muhurta, if you do all these things, it will be an excellent method to get maximum benefit. Brahmi Muhurta, as you know, is about 1.5 hours before the sunrise, about 4:30 to 5. That is there. And then during that time, if you do this one, you will get the maximum advantage. And so there is no actually time limit as such, but we limit ourselves. We choose to the greatest advantage what is best for us. So in early mornings, if we choose, that is best for us.
Thank you so much, sir. So this next question is, which is a mudra for hypothyroidism?
That is the Shankar Mudra, which is done by holding the finger like this, covering it up and covering the other fingers. And that is Shankar Mudra.
Okay, thank
This
you.
is one. Or you can do the Sahaja Shankar Mudra. Sahaja Shankar Mudra. That is interlock all your fingers like this and then hold it against your stomach.
All right. Before I take another question, I just want to announce that we are repeating the course, Mudra course in April with Taraji. The same shall be going over all the mudras given in Dr. Iyer's book. So if you want to sign up, what you can do is I'm putting a chat group for WhatsApp for info group for a Moksham Foundation. If you can join that chat group, you'll get all the information about the course, upcoming courses. So you can do that one thing. And people in India can directly order the book from Dr. Iyer. Will share his phone number also in that chat group. And people in North America, I'm getting around 40 copies of the books in April. We have already ordered. So if you want, you can just, you can send me the information, or once I get the book, I'll send information to that chat also. Okay. So that you can do. Keep yourself informed by joining that chat group. Okay, the next question is, I guess this next question is how to keep our energy levels high. I think Pran Mudra should be the best, Dr. Iyer.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Which mudra is good for hair loss?
Oh, that is quite common nowadays. And we use various types of creams and other things. That is not required at all. Just to do Prithvi Mudra. That is the ring finger tip to the the tip of the thumb. That is called as Prithvi Mudra. Prithvi Mudra plus Prana Mudra, both of them together. That is one after the other, of course. If you do this one for 1 week, 50 minutes a day, 50 minutes a day for 1 week, that will be very, very helpful to control the hair loss or even gray hair, developing gray hair, etc.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, the next question is, which mudra can we hold to reduce the hot flashes during menopause? So menopause symptoms for ladies. What is the best mudra?
That is it. Apana Vayu Mudra is the best thing. Apana Vayu. And Yoni Mudra. Yoni Mudra, like this.
Yes. Okay, so Yoni Mudra and Apan Vayu Mudra is good for
Yes,
her.
Apana Vayu Mudra. Correct.
Thank you, sir. How long should I do the mudra per day to recover? So I think that depends on what condition you are.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, we cannot
Exactly.
based on your condition. The next question is, what mudra is best for, again, for eyes? Short-sightedness. So somebody asked for long-sightedness. This person is asking for short-sightedness, like near problem. Yeah.
Prana Mudra is the best thing for you, for them. Prana Mudra is very efficient for eye troubles.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, any mudra to overcome fear?
Fear. Best thing is, I have always recommended Gnana Mudra to be done regularly by everybody, and that goes to give you a lot of advantage and peace of mind and calmness of mind, and to control any of your difficulties, depression, anger, those things, those areas. And then you want to get rid of your negative thoughts, and then also the uh, addiction that you might have had of cigarettes or other things. That is why it is very essential. I had last time also, I stressed on this one. Parents, especially who are having children, please get them habituated to do this particular mudra, and that is going to change their personality entirely, very efficient, to the better advantage. And in fact, they'll be very good citizens. And then their understanding power, and then writing power, and then oratory, and all that improves. In addition to improving our own character, that is very important. So if you get educated, especially habituated to see that your children does it along with you, they won't do it by themselves initially, but get them habituated, and then you will see the wonderful advantage.
That is the king of mudras, Gyan Mudra. Thank you so much, sir. There's a question about mudra that could help in reducing the pressure in the eyes due to glaucoma pressures.
Yeah. Same thing, Pranamudra is the best for all eye troubles.
All eyes.
Pranamudra.
Okay. There's a general question. Any mudra for anti-aging?
Anti?
Aging.
No,
I think all mudras we should practice.
Of course, Gnana Mudra and Prana Mudra. I mean, Gnana Mudra and Dhyana Mudra. Those two help us a lot in keeping our minds completely peaceful and then calm. And then also for increasing our body, that is the Prithvi Mudra is the best. Prithvi Mudra you have to do along with Prana Mudra. Prithvi Mudra and Prana Mudra basically, and then Gnana Mudra and then Dhyana Mudra mentally for requirements. That is best.
Okay, thank you, sir. So next question is mudra for teeth-related issues. I don't know if it's pain or something else, swelling.
If there is any pain, any difficulty, do in Samana Mudra and then keep it against the position where it is paining. Wherever it is paining.
Bleeding gums, she's saying.
Bleeding gums. That bleeding gums, that is, you can do, you can do Prithvi Mudra for that particular.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. There's another question. Reducing the pain due to heel pain, due to heel spur. Sometimes there's a bone growth, right, in the heels?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pain in the heel. What is the mudra for that?
In fact, that is what I am suffering from today. I am also doing the same thing.
Me too.
But I get relief with pain, with Shunyavaya Mudra. Shunyavaya Mudra helps a lot to alleviate this pain.
Same thing for plantar fasciitis, right? Pain in the foot. Some people asked last time also plantar fasciitis.
That is Prithvi Mudra.
Prithvi Mudra, plantar fasciitis. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there are no more questions right now. Anybody has any other question? Just type it. Otherwise, we'll just close the session. So
no,
yeah.
I am very happy that I could go on for 1 hour because I was not sure. My throat was giving me a lot of trouble. And even now, I think you must have recognized the difference between today's lecture and the last day's lecture. And then it was very difficult for me, and I was not very sure that I'll go through for 1 hour like this. But I'm very happy that I could complete this lecture for 1 hour, and some of your satisfaction at least, and I hope that you get benefit out of it. All the people who hear me can get benefit out of it, and then start doing it.
Yes.
It's not enough if we hear. When once we do for some, at least for fun, at least for it as test, just started doing it. And once you get the advantage of that, see the advantage and the cure, then you will get convinced. Till then, it is very difficult to get convinced. Because just if you tell anybody, hold this way, you will get ready. No, he won't believe it. He will not believe it. And yes, that is, unless one starts doing something at least, even as, for example, scratching. Supposing you get scratching, do Samana Mudra, and then put this Samana Mudra at that particular position where it is difficult of finding it. You are finding it difficult. You will immediately get. I feel that reduction in pain. That's the great advantage of the mudra, especially Shonya Vaya Mudra, Apana Vaya Mudra, and then Putti Mudra, Varuna Mudra. These are excellent mudras. Samana Mudra. These are excellent mudras, which you have to use sometime or other for something or other. You will be using these mudras. Though there are special mudras for other things, these mudras are very common for most of our day-to-day requirements in the cities, living in cities. That is what it is. And it is very essential to start first, have confidence and start first. And if you get the advantage of that one, then you go to the next one. No, don't do 40 minutes, 50 minutes at a time. Start with 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, that 15 minutes a day. Go on increasing that day by day. That will be the method of it. And then you have to take certain precautions in doing these mudras also. That is, you have to be seeing that occasionally, because once you do this mudra, you have to do it for a longer time than what is normally we are used to. And so when that is required, then the fingers may not be in that particular position. It may shift its position to something else. While there is no difficulty or disadvantage of that one, we do not get the advantage of that particular mudra that we are doing for a particular purpose. So that is very essential. That is, you must be occasionally checking whether you are doing the correct positioning or not. Otherwise, you need not have to concentrate on this one. No pressure required. And then even one hand is required, is sufficient. Even though both hands, doing in both hands, it is advantageous. Even if one hand is free, then the advantage is definitely there. That is also there. And then also, as far as possible, don't have these nails grown. Cut them usually normal. And then also, if you wear rings or any ornament in the hands or anywhere else, remove them for the particular period of time that you do mudras. That is what is required. And then also to go after doing 1 or 2 days, if you get dejected or exhausted, don't do that one. Persist it and continue that one. You may not, in fact, I have seen people getting full advantage after 6 months. In fact, one of my customers, a very good close friend of mine, had a lot of problem in the palm. And then allopathic medicines and then Ayurvedic, all those things could not give any effect at all. And then what happened was, when I told him what dries to it, and after doing that, immediately they could not get it. They had to wait for 6 months to that. After that, it was completely vanished. It was very good, very effective after that. So that is why persistence is very essential in doing these mudras, very, very essential. And some people have asked whether you can recite anything, any nama, God's name, like that. It is the most advantageous, because while mudras themselves do not specify, for your satisfaction, if you do, you will get a double advantage. That is why Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Vasudevaya, Om. All these things can be repeated. So that is easy. That is better to do the dance.
One last thing, Dr. Iyer, that if somebody has no disease, what are the daily mudra they can do as a part of
Yeah.
meditative practice, like in the morning?
Especially if you have my book with you, I have devoted a separate chapter, one full chapter for that.
Okay.
6 mudras to be done, daily practice mudras.
Okay.
6.
Thank you so much. And I hope nobody has any more questions. Let me just check. Okay, somebody's asking, is there any scientific reason for removing the chain or the ornaments while doing the mudras?
Yeah, they may interfere the process of going, that is connecting through the nadis to the brain. When it is going, when a particular sensation is being received and it has to be sent to the brain through the nadis, then at the nadis, there should be no obstruction when it is going through the nadis. That is
So
why it is better. You need not have to remove the ring. These things are ornaments, but at least rings, because rings are connected with fingers. Means rings at least maybe remove.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Maybe it's metals are the conductor of electricity, and because these probably are electric impulses nowadays flowing through the nadis, probably that is why. I'll just repeat, those who are in the yoga group, the active yoga group, they don't have to be in the yoga info group. But if you're not in any of our groups, if you join the yoga info group, for which I have sent in the chat, you'll get the information about our upcoming sessions like this one, and also about when the book is available. The next course with Taraji. Taraji is our teacher for mudras. She has done course with, and she's spreading this knowledge of Dr. Iyer. Next course is in April. So we'll have on 4 Sundays. The course is divided into 4 parts. Each Sunday will have 1.5 to 2 hour session in the morning in North America, which is 8 a.m. And in India time, it will be 5:30 p.m. in April, 4 Sundays. So if you want to stay informed, either stay in touch with Taraji or join our WhatsApp info group. Okay. So with that, it's really always, yes, Dr.
One point I would like to say is I have no doctorate. I am just a professor. I was a professor of civil engineering in an engineering college and also chief engineer later on. So please drop the word doctor from my name. Thank you.
Yeah, so you are a professor, doctor. You know,
You
what
have already a doctorate.
what I feel is whoever can cure is a doctor. Okay, so whatever means. So we have that respect for you. And definitely, since we started this course in November, we started the Mudra course through Taraji in November, and we have got such wonderful feedbacks from the participants that they got cured of their problems. And I always say that yoga is all about practice-based evidence. Normally in the West, we say evidence-based practice, but already we have a lot of evidence, but it was suppressed. Now you practice and you create your own evidence and spread the knowledge. I got one more last question, I think. My friend has some allergy wherein she gets big red patches over different parts of the body. Not finding any relief with medication. Can you please suggest a mudra which she can hold? So I think it's red patches on the skin, different parts of the body.
I think she can do Varuna Mudra for that. Varuna Mudra.
Varun mudra is this.
Yeah.
This is best for the skin problems.
Yeah.
There was one more saying, any mudra related to dryness due to menopause.
Yes.
And Yoni Mudra.
Yoni
Yoni
mudra.
Mudra I can do. That is quite good. It cures most of our difficulties in the menopause.
Yeah. And I must suggest that you can get the book definitely, but if you do course with Taraji, it's much more profound because the way she teaches with all the science and the theory behind it, it sinks in. And those 4 weeks of Mudra course has been the most profound weeks for me also as learning and growth for myself. So I highly suggest you do that course and spread this knowledge as far and wide because it is the mudras are free. It's within your hands, fingers. So everybody can take advantage of that and practice that. And Once you find changes within yourself, it'll keep you motivated. But again, yoga, mudra, anything requires a lot of patience. And also the presence of mind. You have to be present. And when you do it, it's more effective, as told by Dr. Iyer. So
Correct.
chanting mantra is one technique to be. So make it as a meditative practice for yourself. Suppose you take one particular ailment you want to get rid of, just start doing with a lot of meditative mind, and then you'll definitely find a result.
That's correct. That's correct. Now, I may add here that yoga and mudras with meditation, all the three together, can completely keep you healthy throughout your life. These three things: yoga, mudras, meditation. Meditation also, along with it. Because anyway you are meditating, you can do mudras along with it and together. There's no separate time required for that purpose. So if people can learn these three things together, because mudras after all are advanced yogasanas. Because yogasanas aim at our annamaya kosha, which is the physical body. Because this physical body should not give us any trouble during our meditation or dhyana, nididhyasana, or samadhi, last three stages. During that period, the physical body should not give us any trouble. So that can be easily taken care of by asanas, that is physical body, annamaya kosha. And our mudras are covering the pranamaya kosha. Pranas, that is the prana that is flowing in our body through every nook and corner, to every nook and corner through the nadis. But that purpose has to be assured, and that is done by means of mudras. So mudras take care of the pranamaya kosha and the manomaya kosha, and then also the other koshas also. So that is why all these two, both of them are interrelated and then not separate. They are like brothers, interrelated, and one depends upon the other. And it's always better to do all the three together, all the three.
Every time, Dr. Iyer, you come, I'm amazed by the energy you have to give the knowledge. Even you were a little sick, not feeling well, but you still spoke for an hour and you still have that enthusiasm and energy, which I feel we should all learn from you and inculcate all those practices within a life. And it's always a pleasure having you with us. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Namaskar.
And actually, Professor Iyer doesn't look a day older than 70. Cannot say.
No, actually, I was not very sure of talking today because of the throat trouble. I was doing always this Udana Mudra. Udana Mudra is a very efficient mudra for throat trouble. Very efficient. And I've seen it in others also, but through my own eyes experience. And then myself, I have experienced also this particular thing. Udana Mudra. A very, very good mudra. It is as efficient as the Shankha Mudra itself. Very good mudra. And takes care of all our problems above the throat. Above the throat.
We could like sit here for the whole day and keep talking to you. But we have to go right now. We'll call you again actually in a couple of months, and hopefully you stay in good health. We all pray for your good
Sure,
health.
sure.
And you're doing a wonderful job, and you've done a service to all of us, to the humanity, by bringing this book out, bringing this ancient science of mudras, because this is what we need in today's day and age
Exactly.
for being healthy.
It is so helpful.
For
It's so
everybody.
used.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're very obliged
Thank
to you.
you.
Thank you. It was a blessing to have you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. And please join our WhatsApp group if you're not there in the Active Yoga group. Join the info group so that, because we don't do any advertising or anything, we don't have that much resource right now. So we just send information on our WhatsApp info group or my status message or Taraji. That's how we spread the message. So do join that. You won't get a lot of messages, only 3 to 4 messages a month in that WhatsApp info group. So it's a good idea to join that. Okay. So again,
Thank
Moksham
you
is all
so
about
much.
getting that knowledge of Indic and Vedic studies and bringing our traditional science back. So we are very passionate about that to make world relatively medicine free. We
Sure,
cannot
sure, sure.
100% medicine free. Acute medicine is also important, but also these traditional medicines should come up more and more so that we can take advantage of the years of tapasya of our ancient rishis and munis, right? So
Sure, sure. We should
thank you.
grateful to them. Grateful to them.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, Professor Iyer cured himself of vitiligo, whereas so many people are suffering from it, and young children are also suffering. If they had this knowledge, it's so they are taking medicines, they're doing so many things, and still not having the cure. So these kind of these tips should be shared with everyone.
Sure.
Even in
Very
our
simple.
case, yeah, so,
Very,
sorry.
very simple, and then time free time, and then painless also, and then easily understandable by all people. Very easily do this for a particular thing. They'll say. So, in fact, when you tell the children, they will tell you afterwards, oh, you do this, mother, uncle, or auntie, like that. So it's so easy to do that. When once they come to know what mudra is to be done for what, it is extremely simple, extremely simple. You don't go to anybody else. You are your own doctor. Who else can assess a disease better than the patient himself? And who else can think of a cure than the patient himself? It's very easy. Same person. But attitude is very important. We have to believe in that one, and then we have to persist in that one. And then we should have, in general good attitude towards others also. Negative attitude as less as possible. It is all very easy to say all these things, but very difficult to do that also. Greed and jealousy takes a lot of difficulties. Bring in a lot of difficulties. Greed and jealousy, that is there everywhere in our professional life or in social life or in other like that. Very, very difficult. That's why our attitude must be first of all defined. If our attitude is good, they say that you are showing one finger at the other, but the three fingers are towards you. And those three fingers are really very important. We should know what we are talking, what words we use, how we use, and then how we treat others, because we are one of the 84 lakh creations. The others have as much right to exist as ourselves. As much as possible, we should live without conflict, because after all, it is for everybody. Just think of a garden. I always like that one. Just think of a garden. In a garden, we shall find many of the flowering trees and then flowering plants and other things that are there. And every flowering plant is definitely for itself. It does not compete with others. For example, whenever I go for a walk, I trample on the flowers. And I think like this. The flower does not worry whether you tramp on it or does not matter whether it is lying on a side or on the center of the road or anything. It simply gives its fragrance. Simply gives its fragrance. That is what we should be. We have certain characteristics created by the Creator Himself. He has sent us for a particular purpose, and that particular purpose we should maximize and then see that the society gets a benefit. In a garden, the area gets benefit. Similarly, in our lifetime, we should create a particular good things about us. We should be contributing to the goodness of society, not to the conflict of the society. That is what it should be. And that's what the Creator expects us to do. In fact, He has sent us with a certain definite advantage which no other person has it. No other person has it. Everybody is special in his own way. And he can contribute it that way. In fact, Saramusha was saying, if you are appointed as the sweeper of the streets, see that it is the best swept in the world. So that others say, oh, what a beautiful road it is. That is what should be the attitude with us. And if we think about ourselves, but our panchendriyas always are extrovert in nature. They think of other things. Oh, he's talking like this. He should not have talked like this. This should not have been like this. Always externally we are thinking. Instead, we turn towards inside and then say, what should I talk? What is my responsibility? How does it affect me? That way, if you go on talking about ourselves, we will be peaceful, I tell you. Most peaceful about ourselves. So that is why I have done it most of the time, because whenever there is a conflicts are very rare. I would sit on his shoes and then say how he would see me, and then problem solves. So easy to solve. If you persist in your own attitude and then your own thinking, then the difficulty comes up.
Let go.
Sure.
That's the best advice from a 98-year-old.
I have
Yes.
experienced in my lifetime, and hence I am feeling that way. So there is certainly an advantage in feeling that way also, because ultimately you are seeing all these external things only vanishing. It is not helping us anything to realize. So realization comes within ourselves when we direct our panchendriyas inside, inwards.
All right, Dr. Iyer, thank you so much. Wonderful advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can only get half as energy as you have. We'll be blessed. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll close the meeting now. And it's on YouTube also, so you can rewatch it and also share with family and friends. Thank you so much. Thank you, Taraji. Thank you, Dr. Iyer.
Thank you, Archana. Thank you, Professor Iyer. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time on
I'm
a
glad
Sunday
I could talk
morning.
to you for such a long time, in spite of the fear that I had about this throat. Anyway, thank you. Very great. I believed in God, and He has helped me to go through this particular period. So I'm very happy about talking to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Good night.
much. Good night. Bye.
Have a nice day, everyone here. Okay, everybody has gone now. So
Yes.
thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
again.
Thank you.
Bye.